on speaker here. See if we can figure this out. There we go.
That's it. You're all good. How's it going, man?
I'm great, dude. How are you?
Yeah, dude. Very well, man. Long time no see.
I know, right? It's been a good couple months at least. Yeah.
Actually, it has been a while, man. How was Mexico? All right.
Mexico was sick, dude. Yeah, we were there. It was like a weekend getaway, really. Only one show, Mexico City, but it was beautiful. Fans were awesome. And it's such a cool culture down there, anyway. So yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Honestly, I saw that the bit where you guys were saying goodbye to Mexico, and I assume you had like that drone that kind of like flew out across Mexico City, mate. That was insane.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was bummed I missed that. I flew home the day before that, so I missed the the cool little effect. But
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, hang on a minute, there's one missing now. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, he's not the pilot, is he?
Yeah. I was the pilot. Yeah, I flew.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, no. So I just got some bits and bobs here that I was going to go through with you, if that's all right, mate. If you got some time, so.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Awesome. So one of the questions I got is, so was music always the plan for you? And if so, who or what was it that inspired you to get into music?
I think so, honestly. I came from a very musical family. Ever since I was a kid, I was kind of, messing around on keyboards and just kind of experimenting. But I got into music in school actually quite early, like around 5th grade. I'm not sure how you guys do it in the UK.
It's very similar. We have like sort of years. We go from like year, I think it's 7 to 10.
Okay.
It's like from the age of 13 to 18.
Right. So I got in pretty early, and I started playing saxophone. I still play saxophone, actually. So I was, big band nerd all throughout school and high school and stuff like that.
Nice.
But when I started getting into like rock and metal and stuff like that, I really kind of took a shine to that. And I was like, the more I went to concerts and the more that I saw the bands I love play, like Slipknot, Korn, Rammstein, and then even Combichrist, when it got later on, I was like, this is something I want to do and really kind of go all in on. So eventually, yeah, it did become the plan, and I just kind of started joining bands and doing tours, and just kind of making small little victories until I got the Combichrist gig, and we're still pushing forward. But yeah, man, music's always been the main goal for sure.
That's awesome, man. Honestly, I'll tell you what, it must be such a dream for you to like actually have grown up like listening to Combichrist, and now like you're actually with them. Like, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, man, it's insane. It's one of those things, like, I remember seeing them for the first time, and like there's something that kind of awakens in you, and I don't know, like, if that's like some sort of like fate or destiny or some kind of omen, like you're gonna play in this band someday. But
yeah,
it's definitely a very specific feeling that I got the first time I saw that band, and yeah. So to be playing with them now is totally a dream come true, and Joe Letts was one of my huge influences as far as his visual style, and where a lot of my kind of my approach to drumming came from later on. So yeah, sure. Man, it's sweet to be a part of that group now.
It's funny you touched on that, actually, because that was one of the questions I was going to bring up to you, was actually because you have got a very similar play style to Joey. Like, obviously when I saw you live, but just like seeing you from playing other live sets as well, you've got that energy that Joey had, and I think that's why a lot of fans like really took to you really quickly as well, because they see so much Joey in you.
Yeah, it's possible, and the thing is kind of cool too, and I'm not really sure how other people that have joined bands that have had a pretty prominent member like Joey has been over the past 13 years, I want to say it was.
Yeah.
When I first joined, I found myself really kind of going or leaning into that Joey side much more than my Dane side. And
sure.
now that I've been in the band a bit longer, it's been kind of cool. And I think around Russia, actually, in November, it kind of started to click. And there's definitely that Joey influence and that craziness still that really just comes with the Combichrist show in general. But I think it's kind of cool. Next time that fans see us, they're going to see much more of me, which I like.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's good to hear, man. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. I mean, so it takes a lot of getting used to. You play a million shows, and all of a sudden you kind of you fall into your own style, which I think is very important. You know, of course, have your influences and have things that inspire you, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
it's definitely important to bring your own sort of uniqueness to the scene,
for
isn't
sure,
it?
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
authenticity, not only visually but musically too. You know, I'm getting to kind of put some Dane chops in the Combichrist songs, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's actually that kind of leads on to one of the other questions I had for you, actually, which is quite convenient. Is 'cause obviously the reason I'm doing this is a lot to sort of address sort of mental health issues, and obviously the One Fire album you guys brought out, obviously focused very heavily on that, didn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And one of the questions I had for you was, did you use any of your sort of real life troubles or experiences that helped really sort of push the feel for you for that album?
You know, I can't say personally. Really, everything in the studio and on the albums, that's all Andy's work. So
Okay.
yeah, that's his mind, that's his creativity, that's all, you know. So I do remember though we were filming the music video for Understand, and which is
Such a good
heavily,
song.
yeah, heavily about, you know, mental health, and you know, I know Andy's very passionate about that, and I'm sure he's had his own you know, influences and struggles with, you know, that he was able to put into that song,
Yeah.
and the rest of the album for that matter. But you know, it's something we can all relate to. You know, we think we all have our issues and things that we're working on. So it's kind of a cool soundtrack to be able to, you know, get through it together with. You know what I mean?
It is definitely, yeah. I'll tell you what. When I first heard it, it just clicked with me instantly. I was just like, you know what, this has become one of my favorite Combichrist songs of all time.
That's great, man.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's such an incredible song. It really is. Um, how do you keep yourself motivated then? So when you're sort of obviously away and you guys do a lot of traveling, don't you? Sort of out around countries and whatnot. How do you keep yourself motivated and focused when you're away for sort of long periods of time from your family?
um, I mean, if you're referring to like on the road, for me, everything is about passion and what you love to do. And like, trust me, there's days that, you know, I'm on tour that are hard, you know, and it's like, man, you want to go home, you can't go home, you miss your, you know, your people or whatever. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you know, this is what I want to do. You know, I've always
Yeah.
wanted to play drums. I always wanted to go on tour. I always wanted to play, you know, an awesome live show. So you really just kind of have to I mean, live for those moments, I guess, you know.
You're
You
really
know,
sort of weighing up the pros and cons of it, aren't you? It's like I may be struggling with this, but look what I'm achieving through this struggle.
yeah, exactly, and knowing that the tedious things are temporary, and that the good things are going to outweigh the bad at the end of the day,
Oh,
you know,
all
and
the
that,
time, all the time.
yeah. So and nothing is, you know, nothing is forever. So enjoy what you can out of it, and you know, and how is it? Just have fun, be at peace, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, dude. Absolutely, I'm with you there. Absolutely.
yeah.
um, Another question I got for you is, I was quite when I saw you live, and obviously I've seen the videos as well of you online. Was there a sort of inspiration behind your persona on stage and sort of like the way you know you sort of paint yourself and you have the war paint on you and the outfit? Was there sort of like an inspiration behind that, or was that you? Did that come all from you?
That mostly came from me, actually. You know, and a lot of the bands I was playing in Orlando, I started incorporating the harness, and whether I was drumming or I also sing for my band Cyber Scream too. So I would always kind of have that sort of you know, BDSM kind of look.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so
think it looks fucking awesome. To be fair.
thanks, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
That's awesome. The only thing I could think of that I kind of, you know, maybe even somewhat like ripped off in a way, are the armbands, and I love that from Doyle, um,
Okay.
from Misfits. He wears those, and like I think that's kind of, you know, some sort of where that inspiration came from.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as the paint, that just kind of happened by playing a bunch of different shows, and my paint now is way different than it was my first day in Combichrist. And I think I can say the same for Eric and really all those guys. Like, you know, it's kind of a funny story. We can look back at, wow, we thought that was cool. You know,
Yeah.
our first day of putting on makeup, and you know, so yeah, for me, it's kind of how do I feel that night? Do I feel kind of crazy? Do I feel more subtle? Do I feel, you know, want to go for like a scary or intense look? So it can kind of
Yeah.
change every night, to be honest. But I think just the war paint is just kind of a thing that goes hand in hand with that kind of music.
Yeah,
very
I think
tribal,
it definitely
very
suits it.
intense.
I love the way how you've all got like your own unique paint schemes as well. Like it's not like one of those things where you would look at all of you and just think, yeah, that's Combichrist. You're all very sort of got your unique style, and I love that.
Right. Yeah, me too. And it's cool. Everyone kind of has their own personality,
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. In your opinion, what is one of your favorite Combichrist songs of all time?
Oh man, all time. If that was the case, I'd probably have to go Shut Up and Swallow.
Oh, dude, yes. Oh,
Because
such a good song.
that's like my favorite one to play live almost.
Yeah.
And that's also the first song I ever heard and saw live from
Oh,
this band.
wow.
And I was like, what? It was on, Chicago Allstate Arena with Rammstein. And, these 5 crazy looking dudes come out of the fog. And there's that crazy bow, 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 bow,
Yeah.
bow. And I'm like, whoa, like, who are these guys? Like, this is insane. And, the show starts. And I was hooked from
It's
the
it's
first
quite a
second.
savage song to be introduced to them by, isn't it? As well, it's kind of, when you actually break the lyrics down and listen to it. Like
Exactly.
because
Like,
I was the same when I first ever heard the song. Like I'll be completely honest with you, I completely ignored the lyrics to start off with, and I
right.
just absolutely loved the beat. And then the more and more I got into Combichrist, the more I tried sort of like reciting the songs back to myself. I was like, right, I'm going to learn the lyrics to the song. I sat there and I read them, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is brutal! Like, what is going on here?"
I think I could say the same. In
Yeah.
live, you can never really tell, exactly what the lyrics are. But
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Once you kind of like dig in, like, oh, whoa, that's a
Yeah, it's
heavy
crazy,
song.
man.
But yeah,
Moving off of music a little bit. Obviously, I know you're quite an avid gym goer.
yeah.
How do you feel about that with obviously touring and whatnot? Does that help you kind of get in the mood, or is it like a way for you to kind of let yourself go a little bit? How do you see training?
It depends on the length of the tour, actually. For example, like when we went to Australia, that was like, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 days. I took a week off. I was like, you know what, this isn't going to kill me. I'm gonna have a little mini vacation kind of thing.
Yeah.
And same with anything, but it's super short. But when we get into things that are quite long, like when we did Europe for 2 months, North America for 2 months, it definitely is important for me to have some sort of gym, or I'll do just kind of my own thing with as far as calisthenics, or with the resistance bands.
Yep.
And just kind of make it work, at least a couple of times a week, so I can maintain and not really lose myself. Because I mean, like, it's a big fan of The Rock too. I like the concept of the anchor, that kind of keeps you grounded, and something that you always kind of do. So for me, big ones are meditation and fitness usually. So
I feel like me and
always
you are
very
on some
important.
sort of like the same subliminal level here. This is insane. It's like I'm talking to like an alternate version of myself.
That's great, man. I totally feel that.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I don't want to keep you too much of your time. Obviously, I know you guys are quite busy now. Like I say, going back to kind of the reason I'm doing this is sort of for mental health and to really help kind of inspire people,
Yeah, that's
give
great,
people
man.
hope and whatnot. Last question I've got for you really is for anyone out there who's kind of, suffering, depressed, they're down, they're sort of lost in life. What would your advice be to someone who's really trying to get themselves off the ground and, sort of find themselves?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is you're not alone, even if it feels like that. And there's always someone you can reach out to, someone you can talk to, and and I encourage you to find that person. And because friends and family can help you get through anything. The other thing is, it's okay to be introspective. It's okay to be alone. Meditate. Figure out why you feel the way you do. Journal, write, be creative. And just remember that everything is nothing is forever. Pain isn't forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's only temporary.
exactly, yeah. And it's like, I like to think of it as a cool thing I've heard is the pendulum. If the pendulum is in a bad place right now, it's going to swing back up soon. So, and you'll get better at kind of ebbing and flowing with how that goes. But it's always better, in the days ahead. So hang tight and just keep pushing on, man.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no,
say,
that's awesome. No, that's some really wise words. All right, Dane, thank you very much for your time, mate. Honestly, I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure talking to you, mate.
Thanks, Rob.
And
Yeah.
I really hope I get to see you guys again very soon.
Absolutely, and we'll see you on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. You take care, Dane. Good talking to you, mate.
You too, man.
Take care, mate. Bye. You too.
All right,
Bye.
bye.